Wildfires raging across southern Alberta tonight. The flames forcing people to leave their homes to the north, east and south of Calgary. Intense winds fueling those flames tonight. Good evening. A number of areas in our province are under a state of local emergency. People fleeing their homes as wildfires move in quickly, powered by high winds. Critical alerts have been issued for Cypress County, Wheatland County, Crow's Nest Pass. That means those communities are in imminent life-threatening danger. Moments ago, we learned the wildfire-threatening Moon River Estates near Lethbridge is now under control. Earlier tonight, Acadia was under a critical alert, but now the evacuation order has been lifted. And in Wheatland County, officers have been going door to door telling people to leave their homes. A reception center has opened up in Strathmore tonight, and as Tony Ty tells us, people had just seconds to get out of their homes.
The Strathmore Civic Center is one of the emergency shelters that has been set up as a result of the state of emergency in the county of Wheatland, east of Calgary. Earlier today, a grass fire started and high winds spread that fire, and then that started many other fires. It's an area just east of Calgary, about 30 or 40 kilometers in the area around the Siksika Nation. The communities of Carsland and Gleason have been affected by these grass fires. The east side of Gleason has been evacuated, and those people are being sent to emergency shelters in Strathmore and in other communities in the area. As we were driving out from Calgary to cover the fire, we came across farm properties in the night that were still burning. We couldn't tell if homes and farm barns had burned, but they were still burning. As we passed other rural properties, we saw flames burning, saw some large fires burning in the distance. We have been informed by the Wheatland County Emergency Center that most of the fires are now contained. They're not spreading any further, but people are still evacuated until the all clear is given. Probably the most dramatic thing we see was that scorched land was on both sides of the highway as we were leaving Calgary, and in fact all the fence posts were still burning, and the embers were still glowing as we were driving down the highway. So this state of emergency is still in effect around Wheatland County east of Calgary. A number of structures have burned down, homes included in that, and a large number of people evacuated. We don't have exact numbers, but the county will update us as the evening goes on. Tony Ty, Global News in Strathmore.
And two families in Airdrie are now homeless after a wildfire ripped through the community of Sharp Hill. The fire started around 3:30 this afternoon, sparking evacuations. And Joe Croteau has that story.
It was unexpected and unrelenting. Violent winds fueled a fire to the point it was out of control.
Within minutes, like our whole yard was on fire. And I could see the neighbor's house to the south of us. Their roof was starting to go on fire, so I started to panic a bit. And some man came out. It was just so smoky we couldn't see anything, like big chunks of black soot and stuff. So we were out there with both hoses, and my son, he's 14, he's my little hero. He took buckets and just put out all the SWAT fires in our backyard. But our two sheds and our trailer and the whole backyard is just burned.
Neighbors didn't hesitate to do what they could, insisting they didn't want to wait and helplessly watch the flames devour homes around them.
It was pretty brutal. It was like a windstorm just blowing in your face. My face was just black. It was getting so bad it was hard to breathe. So I eventually ran back home. By the time I got home, the fire department was actually in my driveway evacuating everybody out.
They've all reunited as evacuees at the Genesis Center in Airdrie, still processing the shock of it all.
Yeah, then all of a sudden there was a red glow and it kind of just took off from there. So I was texting my husband and videoing it and just wondering what to do and not thinking at all. When the RCMP officer drove up on our driveway and came running and yelling and honking to get out, I was horrified.
RCMP say crews worked as efficiently as they could to douse the growing blaze, but 2 homes, 1 outbuilding, and several sheds couldn't be saved.
It is lucky. The Sharp Hill area is sort of acreage properties, so there's larger homes and people that have had their grass cut and stuff like that, watering their lawns and stuff like that. That's helps to slow the spread of the fire, right? Reduces the fuel source. So I think that did some favors. And I know a lot of people were out there even battling on their own, and we had residents showing up with bobcats and stuff like that, trying to help out with creating fire barriers and things. Crews were on it as fast as they could possibly be, and the wind, it just moved.
But they're here together, sharing a common experience they hope they never have to face again.
I don't really cry easy, but all of a sudden it kind of hit me, and I just, like, the tears started to come. It's just, I think you're just in shock.
The outpouring of friends and family and old neighbors has been very emotional.
And a local state of emergency in Crow's Nest Pass as a wildfire between Sentinel Industrial Park and Coleman burns out of control. Some residents in Coleman have been told to leave, and others should be prepared to leave at a moment's notice. Travel through the Crow's Nest Pass is not recommended as Highway 3 between Coleman and the BC border is shut down in both directions. In Lethbridge, a fire broke out in the city, prompting voluntary evacuations in the Scenic Heights area. Tom Rolston reports.
Flames lighting up the night as a fast-moving fire burns through the coulees in Lethbridge. The inferno visible from Scenic Drive, the major road artery shut down.
So at approximately 1800 hours, we received a call of grass fire directly west of Mountain View Cemetery.
The residential areas of Scenic Heights and Royal Oaks were put on a voluntary evacuation. A nearby radiology clinic and the Lethbridge Country Club evacuated. Flames seen here burning dangerously close to the golf course's main access point, with heavy wind fueling the flames. Wind gusts in Lethbridge reaching in excess of 100 kilometers an hour.
We had swirling flames down in around the golf course, so we're crossing the road. We held it at the road and pushed it northward where we contained it at Scenic Drive.
Fire officials now report the flames as being essentially contained. Most residents living near Scenic Drive were not in danger, but still some tense moments for people nearby.
I walked outside, saw the fire. It was actually pretty big. It started out small, but got large.
The voluntary evacuations near Scenic Drive have since been lifted. Scenic Drive is also back open to traffic. And fire crews remain on the ground in the Lethbridge River Valley this evening, working to try and extinguish those flames and put out any hot spots. At this point, it remains unclear what may have ignited the flames. Tom Rolston, Global News.
People who live in the hamlet of Hilda have also been evacuated. There is a serious fire there moving towards that community. The province's emergency alert program said the fire was located between Township Road 180 and Township Road 190. Hilda is located near the Alberta-Saskatchewan border, about 65 kilometers northeast of Medicine Hat.
You could have never outran it on foot, that it was moving that fast. And well, there was a maintainer trying to plow a fire guard up, and you could see the flames shooting quite a bit higher than the maintainer was. I have never seen it burn like that, not at that speed either, moving that fast.